Okay, let's take a look at everyone's favorite, the if function. So what exactly is the if function? Simply put, it's a question, and that question has two possible answers, yes or no. Depending on the answer to the question, dictates what happens. As a side note, sometimes people will define the if statement as being a logical test. If you ever hear the phrase logical test, it's just an elaborate way of saying you're going to ask a question. That's all. There's no need for unnecessary complexity. The if statement is nothing more than a question, and that question has two answers. Is it yes? Is it no? That's it. The key to reading an if statement is to recognize the pattern, and that pattern is always the same. It's always written, question comes first, what happens if it's yes, what happens if it's no, and a comma indicates a break in thought. By way of example, here we have a list of our employees, and we want to know if they passed a mandatory safety exam. If they want to pass the exam, they have to get a 70 or higher. Put another way, if their score is 70 or higher, they pass. If it's lower than 70, they fail. Let's build the if statement. We'll go up and click on the FX icon. We'll do a search for if. We'll then click OK. The first part is a logical test. Remember, a logical test is a question. So the question is, did the first person pass the exam? So we'll click on the exam score, type a greater than symbol, equal 70. Where it says value of true, that just means what happens if the answer is yes. In this case, they pass. Where it says value of false, that just means what happens if the answer is no. In this case, they fail. Go ahead and click OK. So far, so good. Let's drag our formula down. And it looks like we're good to go. Just for fun, let's change a couple scores just to see if it works. Let's wrap this up with a quick review. Remember, if statements always follow the same pattern. Its question comes first. What happens if it's yes? What happens if it's no? Moving on, let's talk about the if and if or condition. You may ask, why would you even use this in the first place? Well, simply put, you're going to ask more than one question. Furthermore, to make sense of everything, we have to first take a moment and study the and or condition. Let's start off with the and condition. Whenever you work with an and condition, you want to be aware that and conditions can be defined as I want everything or nothing at all. By contrast, or conditions give you more options. Now, granted, that can be a little confusing, so let's see an example. Let's say yours truly hits the lottery and has enough money to buy a really expensive sports car. And that sports car has to have the following: a 5.2-liter V10 engine, fully loaded with every accessory we can think of, and it must be in black. So if you see what we're looking for, the car has to meet all those conditions. That is an and condition. It's everything or nothing at all. If we flip it around, let's say I go to the dealership and they say, well, we can give you everything you want, but the car is only available in gray, blue, yellow, or red. That's an or condition because I have more choices. Therefore, whenever you work with an and condition, they are restrictive. As we've been saying, it's everything or nothing at all. Or conditions, they open up. They give you more candidates, more choices, or more options. Let's see an example to clarify that. Here we have a list of our sales reps and their sales amounts for 2 quarters. And we want to know if they are eligible to get a bonus. To get a bonus, they must sell at least $10,000 in both quarters to qualify. So it's going to be an and condition. Why? Because they must sell at least $10,000 in quarter 1 and $10,000 in quarter 2 to get the bonus. Let's build a formula. We'll go up and click on the FX icon, do a search for the if statement. And now it's not too bad. What we can do is lead off by typing the word and, do an open parentheses, then click on our first quarter sales number, type a greater than symbol, followed by an equal sign, the number 10,000, do a comma, click on our second quarter sales numbers, greater than symbol, equal sign, $10,000, close that parentheses. Where it says value if true, we can type the word bonus because if they did meet the circumstances, they'll get the bonus. Where it says value if false, we'll type the word no bonus because they did not qualify for one. Next, we'll click OK. Copy our formula down, and check it out. Not too bad. Moving on, let's take a look at an if-or. Let's say this time around we become a little bit more lenient with our bonuses and decide to change the structure. In this case, they'll get a bonus no matter if they sold $15,000 in quarter 3 or $15,000 in quarter 4. As long as they sold $15,000, they get a bonus. To solve this, we can build an if-or. Let's cruise up and click on the FX icon, then do a search for the if statement if needed. Then, where it says logical test, we'll lead off by typing the word or, followed by an open parentheses, click the Q3 sales number, followed by a greater than symbol, equal, the number 15,000. We'll then type a comma, click on the Q4 sales number, greater than symbol, followed by an equal sign, 15,000, and we'll close the parentheses. Where it says value of true, remember, as long as they have 1, they qualify, so we'll type the word bonus. Where it says value of false, we'll type no bonus. We'll click OK, drag our formula down, and there we go. Not too bad. Moving on, let's take some time to talk about everybody's favorite, the nested if. So what exactly is the nested if? Well, it's really a question within a question within a question within a question. You get the idea. Phrased a little differently, what will happen is you'll ask Excel a question, and then Excel will say, is it true? Is it true? Is it true? Is it true? A whole bunch of times, and eventually Excel will capitulate and say, well, it's got to be false. This will obviously be better understood by way of example, so let's take a look at one. Before we get into it, please recognize that Excel has made working with nested ifs a whole heck of a lot easier because they invented a brand new function that will do the heavy lifting for you. Put a different way, in the old days, we would have to write out nested if statements longhand, and frankly, that was a headache in a suitcase. No fun. In 2016, Excel gave us a brand new way to do this stuff, so let's bypass all that old school stuff and jump right into the new feature. In this example, we have our employees, the salary amount, and the tax withholding. And what we want to do is if the person gave a tax withholding of 1, take out 10% of the salary. If they gave a tax withholding of 2, take out 20% of the salary. And if they gave a tax withholding of 3, take out 30% of the salary. We can solve this using the if-s function or ifs function. Honestly, I really don't care how you pronounce it, since the important part is to know how it works. The coolest thing is it's really simple to use. It's practically fill in the blanks. Here we go. We'll go up and click on our FX icon, do a search for if-s. From here, all we have to do is ask the question and tell Excel what to do if the answer is yes. So, starting at the top, we'll ask, is this cell equal to 1? If it is, we'll take our salary times 10%. Then we'll ask, is this cell equal to 2? If it's equal to 2, we'll take the salary times 20%. Then we'll ask, is the cell equal to 3? If it's equal to 3, we'll take the salary times 30%. The only downside to this function is it does not provide an easy way to do a false or no condition. So the way we do that is we kind of have to trick it a little bit. The way we do that is for the final question, we'll type out the word true, and then we'll type out our false response. In this case, if the number is not 1, 2, or 3, what we want to see is the phrase not applicable. So we'll type the word true right here, then follow that with not applicable. Click OK. And let's take it for a test drive. And it looks like all systems are go. And just to wrap things up, in case you're in the mood for some trivia, you can do up to 127 levels of questioning using the if-s. Yeah, have fun. And that'll do it. We'll see you in the next lesson.